What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be previewing the Kansas City Chiefs Dallas Cowboys Thanksgiving game. This is going to be one good game today that we're going to have on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. I think everybody who has a football team today that's playing today that wins will have a better one, and everybody who has a football team that loses today, will not have a great one. Goodness for me is I don't have a team playing today. My team plays on Sunday. I think probably one of the biggest games of the weekend you have when it comes to the NFL with the Texans and the Colts. But the biggest game today is the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm so excited for this one. Let's preview this one. You've got the Cowboys who won their last two games in a row after the very, very sudden and surprising passing of Marshawn Kneeland, the Cowboys defensive player who committed suicide. It really sucks for this Cowboys team that what they have dealt with in the last 3 weeks with his passing. But I'm not look, it's not a good thing what happened to Kneeland, but this team is playing well because of it. This team lost a brother. They lost someone they cared about, and they're going out there these last couple weeks and they're playing for him, and they've played considering what's happened to this team, it's really hard to go out there and because I think for a lot of these guys maybe it seems like football is not that important because they've literally lost somebody that they care about, but they're still going out there and they're fighting, and they're doing that for Marshawn Kneeland, and they've played great the last couple weeks. And look, it's also the fact that we can go over the fact that they're playing because of they're doing this because of fighting for Marshawn Kneeland. But I also want to point out I think this Cowboys defense the last couple weeks have been better because of the addition of Quentin Williams at the trade deadline. Of course, if you're going to give up a first round pick and a second round pick and other assets for a player, he better have an immediate impact, and I think he has early on in the first couple weeks of the season, to the point where the Cowboys were able to last week beat the champs down 21-0 and come back and have their it was the second highest comeback in franchise history for the Dallas Cowboys. So, let's preview this one for the Kansas City Chiefs a little bit. Mahomes avoided last week losing his third straight regular season game, which would have been the first time in his NFL career. Mahomes has lost 3 straight NFL games if you look back to when he lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl and then when the Chiefs started off 0-2 this year. But Mahomes has never lost 3 straight regular season games. And the Chiefs did do that when they lost to the Bills and Broncos, and they were down 20-9 to the Colts, and that was in danger. That streak for Mahomes was in danger, but they came back and won in overtime. Now they've got another tough matchup because, look, obviously this defense might be easy to get through. The Chiefs could easily score 30 points against this Dallas Cowboys defense today. But the problem is for the Kansas City Chiefs is not facing that Dallas Cowboys defense. That's going to be easy for this Chiefs offense. You've got a player like Patrick Mahomes. I heavily dislike the Chiefs, and I don't like Patrick Mahomes. But Patrick Mahomes, he's, like it or not, a great NFL quarterback, and this Cowboys defense is weak. I think they've been better in the last 2 weeks, but they're still, I think, easy to target, and Mahomes is going to have a good day. But what's going to be hard for this Kansas City Chiefs team is facing Dak Prescott in that Cowboys offense. George Pickens is absolutely balling right now. And CeeDee Lamb is not playing as good, and I don't think he's the best wide receiver in the wide receiver room right now. I think Lamb is the most talented wide receiver in the room, maybe you would say, or the better wide receiver in general. But the guy that is playing the best football is George Pickens, and he's going to be the guy that the Kansas City Chiefs need to stop today. And I think it's really hard because you need to stop both guys. Both are incredible players, so. It's gonna be very, very hard to go out there and stop both of them at the same time. And then you've got, a great player in Jake Ferguson at the tight end position who had over 60 receiving yards last week against the Eagles. And you've got Javonte Williams who's balling. He's familiar with this Kansas City Chiefs team with playing them, when he was in their division with Denver. Obviously, I don't think this Javonte Williams you're seeing in Dallas is anywhere near to what he was in Denver. He is so much better this year. He should be in the Well, I forgot. You don't have in the NFL you don't have a most improved player. If the NFL had a most improved player, comeback player of the year is different than most improved. The NFL really should add a most improved player of the year award. But if the NFL added a most improved player of the year award, Javonte Williams would be in the conversation with what he's done this year. So there's so many weapons with this Cowboys offense. Their defense is what I'll call garbage, but with their offense, like the Kansas City Chiefs defense, I mean, sure they've got playmakers, but this year I don't know if I'd say they've been as good as they've been in the past, to the point where they're going to be able to have a good day against this offense of the Cowboys, where you've got so many weapons. You've got your elite threats in Pickens and Lamb and Javonte Williams, and then you've got your what I would call the other guys, like you have Kevontae Turpin and you have Jake Ferguson and you have Jalen Tolbert as other guys that are going to show up and make plays for this Cowboys team. So it's going to be a hard challenge for the Chiefs to deal with. And another thing I'll point out is the Cowboys have a really good history of playing good football on Thanksgiving, and so I think they do it again today. I dislike both of these teams, but I'm rooting for the team right now who has dealt with what they've dealt with in the last couple weeks and are fighting with what they're fighting with the pain of losing a teammate. And look, in the last couple weeks I've been rooting for this Cowboys team. It's been weird for me, but watching what they've gone through, I am a fan of this team right now. Like I will say, this is what I said earlier. I still very much dislike the fans. I think the Dallas Cowboys fans, even though I am rooting for the football team right now, in the last couple weeks I have been, and I will again today, even though I have been, I think the fan base of the Dallas Cowboys are one of the worst fan bases in all of sports. And their owner, Jerry Jones, is one of the worst owners in the NFL. And so, but that doesn't mean I can't, even though I heavily dislike Jerry Jones and I do not like their fans, that doesn't mean I can't root for this team, because they've got talented players, number one. Like, I love George Pickens, watching him and CeeDee Lamb. That's really fun to watch, and I really love Dak too. So, but knowing what they've been through recently, and it's not just but I also look at Dak. Like, think about what he's been through in his life with people, in his life with suicide, dealing with it with his brother, who unfortunately died the same way as Marshawn Kneeland, and then we can just go over, losing his mother. Obviously, that's not how his mother passed, but he has dealt with Dak has lost with a lot. Dak Prescott has dealt with a lot of loss in his life, and here's another loss. And so I feel really bad for him, and he's even though, he might not come clutch in the playoffs, but he's a really good person, and I feel really bad for this entire team with what they've dealt through in the last couple weeks, and watching them fight the way they have done in the last couple weeks, being able to come back against the Eagles 21-0. That was really impressive, and I'm rooting for them again today, and I'm going to predict that they get a dub today, and I'm really hoping it happens. You guys give me your thoughts on this Thanksgiving preview of the Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs. Also want to point out, this is going to be big. Want to point this out, and this is on the Chiefs' favor. Isaiah Pacheco is going to be back today. Want to remind everybody, the Cowboys' run defense has been awful this season. Now, this is also key to remember. The Dallas Cowboys' run defense has actually been really better the last couple weeks. The last couple weeks since the Quinnen Williams trade, the run defense has looked a lot better for the Cowboys. Saquon Barkley and Ashton Jeanty did not do a whole lot against them. So, against the Cowboys. So, we'll see how Pacheco does in that first game back today, but can that be a factor? How will the Dallas Cowboys do against Pacheco and Kareem Hunt? And is that something the Kansas City Chiefs potentially try to go to a lot more? They're known as a passing team, but maybe they go a little bit more with the run today with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, knowing the Cowboys have struggles there in the past. But I think the Cowboys are worse with their pass defense than their rush defense anyways. But you guys give me your thoughts on this game in the comment section, and peace out.